Everybody, don't change that dial. Sports Central is coming up next with some very special guests, some footage of a sport I'll guarantee you have never seen before. Stick around, everybody, for this edition of Sports Central. Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. My co-host to my right, to your left, is Mr. Hank Longo.
Hello,
Busy week, Hank,
yeah,
and
it has been.
You are doing some interviewing, some more TV work with Charles Barkley this afternoon.
Fun afternoon today. Get to go out to the First Tee, and it's been an annual event that they do to raise money for the First Tee. And Charles Barkley, part of the Barkley Bean Bryant and Friends, the great event that goes on at the First Tee.
You love doing that, don't you?
Oh,
That's
I
one
do.
of your favorite.
Charles and I get along. I have fun talking about him, and what's fun is because you talk about the good things that he's doing. You find out about the real Charles Barkley, you know, and how he gives to the community and how he tries to help out young kids. So it's a lot of fun. And to watch these young kids play, some of them are pretty fantastic.
One of the things I like about, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about Charles Barkley, but yeah, my hat's off to the guy in so many ways, because he walks the walk, and he is so helpful. He is very giving of his time and resources, but he really is deep down a nice guy. And I know he likes seeing you every year.
And he makes a special trip. He makes a special trip. Think of how busy he is to dedicate, coming here from New York or California to be a part of this.
And we'll have that on our next show. Some of the footage from that.
Next show,
Well, we got somebody to thank, I believe, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do. We want to thank Days Inn Lakeland North for all their support here on PGTV.
Yeah, nice property up there too, right up there by Tiger Town. And speaking of the Tigers,
they're here. We're playing baseball.
Playing baseball today, and had our Major League Scramble yesterday with the Tigers players and staff. And Jim Leland was having a large time last night when many of the players had thought they'd better get back to bed for today's opener. Jim was still socializing. So we had a good time. And Lakeland rolled out the red carpet. Gal Fields was there, Doug Thomas, city manager, and the rest of the crew. A lot of fun.
Good.
So, speaking of special guests and special people, we have another special guest with us who is no stranger to Sports Central and PGTV, and that's Geno Stopowenko. It's a mouthful to say, but
you did it.
Yeah, I did it, and I did it without an error, at least hopefully with Dirty Foot Adventure Run. And Geno, you've have and are establishing a pretty impressive track record here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you got you've got an event coming up very soon. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's the Dirty Foot Adventure Run. It's an obstacle course for civilians, kind of boot camp. If you didn't join the military and you want to kind of feel like what they've gone through, then you get your opportunity.
Now.
That's correct. This time we've gone with 2 courses, a 4-mile course, we say plus or minus because it's probably going to be closer to 5, and a 7-mile course, which is 7.5 miles or so.
Wow.
Okay.
And within the course, there's plenty of obstacles to endure as you do the run. Obstacles that are running under barbed wire, going through culverts, climbing up and down hills, walking the cable about 10 foot above the ground and above water, and if you fall, well, you happen to go for a plunge.
Now, you've got almost like a 5-mile run and a 7-mile run.
Yes.
And with all these obstacles, it must take a while to do the run.
You'll be impressed with some of these athletes out there. Our last record for the 7.2-mile run was 48 minutes.
Oh my
and that's
God.
with 40 obstacles. So they endure the 40 obstacles along the course, and right at 48 minutes. So
that's like a 6-minute mile. I mean, that's just
and these guys don't stop for water. They just keep right on running. These athletes, it's really impressive.
Wow.
Yeah. And put it on in perspective here, the popularity of this race has grown to the point where you're having to start people in waves every 20 minutes,
yes,
my
sir.
understanding.
Yes.
And you start at 9 o'clock, and then I believe you go till noon, in these waves.
Yes.
And so people are going. Do they have chips and stuff on them? Is that the way you do it?
They are timed.
Okay.
So they get the timing chips when they arrive in the morning. When they check in, they strap it to their shoe and hope that it holds, and they go for the run.
Oh my God!
And
how many people are going to be running?
We anticipate 1,000.
Wow.
1,000 people.
Yes.
Where are you guys located?
We're located in Fort Meade, really on County Line Road, which is between Fort Meade and Bowling Green.
Okay.
So we're as far south as you can go in Polk County, and as far north as you can go, I guess, in Bowling Green or in Hardy County.
Yeah, I like Fort Meade's a cool little town.
It is.
They got some
nice
good restaurants,
town.
and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff to do. So when you're done with the run, boom,
You can hang out.
you can hang out in Fort Meade and see what the rest of. You talk to somebody from Fort Meade, and I go, I'll tell them. I say, hey, I really like Fort Meade. Why? Because it's a cool town, and so people live there their whole life, and they just take for granted the neat stuff that's there.
Goes on there in their state champion football team.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about registration. People are interested in signing up or signing up as a group. I'm assuming you can still do that.
Yes.
Okay. How do they do that? Can you do it online? Do you have to call you? I mean, what's the procedure?
They go online, www.dirtyfootadventurerun.com.
Okay.
Under sign up, they would just hit the link. We have an active account and an I'm Athlete account.
Okay.
It directs it into those registration sites, and then they go about registering. Obviously, give us a little bit of money to do so, and they'll get a confirmation, and they come that morning and get parked and get ready for a great time.
Now, some of the things that are going on, they have an opportunity to win a trophy. Does everybody get a medal for participating in the event?
As long as they finish. They have
As
to
long as
finish
they
the course.
They have to finish the course, they get a medal, and then you have trophies for these athletes that are busting through there in
42 minutes.
42
Yes,
minutes
yes.
and that. And now you've got best costume. I mean, you're running in a race and you're wearing a costume in conjunction with that.
Damian Trumley from Mud Run Fun actually runs in a faux gladiator suit, tin, metal, whatever it is, probably 40 or 50 pounds, and does the entire course, 7 miles, in that suit. And there's plenty of others. You've seen Gumbo and Joe Dirt, everyone else you can think of is out there running in just running in costume and having fun. Now you don't have to be in a costume; you can just come out in a bathing suit or in some shorts and do your thing.
Out there in a bathing suit, they definitely think you're in a costume.
Well, I'm not encouraging you two to go out in a bathing suit.
That was ugly. You've been waiting for a while. You had that in the backpack.
I had it in the backpack. I finally pulled it out of the bag.
You gonna pay me on the way out? Is that how this works? Okay.
That's a pretty good setup. Okay, there.
And you've got teams there. You've got the largest team.
We have the largest team right now. Our current. I'll go ahead and
Spill the beans?
Yeah, because some of them were trying to get to that number one spot, but we've got 99 signed up on one team. And
99 people on one team?
They're called the alopecia warriors, and it's
gosh.
alopecia areata is a disease that causes you to lose your hair, and they're actually one of our charities that we're going to take care of for the event.
I can hear it coming.
And,
I didn't know you had that disease.
So the one that we're actually sponsoring, her name is Addison Harris, and she's out of Plant City, Florida.
Okay.
And all the proceeds from the charity will go to her, and then she's going to actually send it right to the foundation. They've encouraged a lot of their friends and family to get signed up.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So it's a really good thing for her to really try to take charge. I want to mention that I believe Addison's like 8 years old. She's a real young girl, and she's really trying to do what she can to bring awareness to the disease.
Wow.
Well,
Sad.
the series itself, this isn't just one isolated race. This is, a race there's 7 others in addition, or 8 others.
That would be for our motocross track.
Oh,
which
that's
is
your motocross.
Something different.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yes.
But this race itself, you have other races throughout the course of the year.
We do. We try to have 3 or 4 a year. This will be our first one of this year, and our next one, I'm not going to tell the date yet because I said I'm going to announce it at the race, but it'll be sometime middle of the year.
Okay.
And then we'll probably have another one toward the end of the year, so we'll probably only get 3 of them in this time.
1,000 people.
So
That's just unbelievable.
That's a lot of folks. And this is taking place on March 9th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you need to get there at what time?
We encourage you to get there about an hour and a half earlier than your wave
So
to be able to get parked.
Okay.
Let's say you're 9 o'clock wave or a 10 o'clock wave, you just want to get there early enough. Our gates do open at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
They come in, they get parked, and then kind of go over to registration, pick up their racing bib and their timing chips, and they get stretched and ready to get to the line and go.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Wow. Let's jump into what I jumped into too soon, and that's your series. Okay. Your 8 races in the series. The next race is March 17th, and it's a motocross series.
Yes.
Now, I didn't know you guys were doing that down there. We like to think we know pretty much everything that's going on here in the county when it comes to sports and tourism and arts and culture and that type of stuff and so on. Tell us about what's going on here. I mean, that's a big deal.
So the motocross track is just simply, it's a mile and a half long, and it's for dirt bikes and ATVs. And they race and they jump over large jumps, large obstacles in their way, dirt obstacles, of course. Mm-hmm. Some of our obstacles are only 20 foot in length, some are 100 foot in length.
Wow.
We have kids out there on really small bikes, and we have kids and adults on very large bikes.
You don't send them all off at once. You just,
no, they're in different
by CC
classes.
They're in different classes. They could be a beginner class, and like you said, they're also sorted by CC. So CC and the talent that they may have, and that's how they're divided. And of course, they get trophies and it's a complete series.
People can come out and watch this stuff. Motocross is pretty cool to watch.
Yes.
If people haven't never seen it, it's really something. These guys are girls too.
Girls too.
A
lot of girls.
They're flying.
Yeah.
Out there. But people can come in. What's it like? $5, $4 or $5?
Spectators only $5. No parking. Just come in, pay $5, and get to watch and enjoy the entire day.
Great.
Food and beverage. Talk about the snacks.
Yes, we
that isn't complete without snacks.
We have Loafing Around Cafe on site, serving some food. And great time. It's a lot of fun. I want to say the foot run nor the motocross track would not be possible without having Will Smith and Melissa Smith from W.R. Smith Land Clearing out of Wauchula. They have all the heavy equipment, and they really help us along.
And those people that can use heavy equipment,
oh yeah,
it's
a talent.
Lot of headaches.
I'll tell you, somebody that knows how to run and clear land is not the same person that's going to work that motocross track.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of talent to be able to get on a dozer and push those hills around and make it right and not get somebody hurt.
Yeah.
And we found the right people with W.R. Smith Land Clearing.
Oh, very good.
W.R. Smith, El Chua, or El Turas. Or what did I just say?
I don't know. We're trying to figure that out.
Where are they based out of?
They're based out of Wauchula.
Wauchula.
Yeah. But they do cover the entire state of Florida.
El Turas, Wauchula, and
they're all
kind of, what's that
That's
term?
all in
You combine words, and there's a term for that. Longo disease.
He's trying to get in there.
Just chip away at that zinger I got earlier.
Well, Geno, hey, great having you on the show.
Okay.
Hank, you go from one race to another, but we have some great footage to give you a little bit of a preview what's coming up with Geno, and that is the Warrior Dash. 9,000 athletes competing in Polk County over the weekend. Wow, this is some exciting footage.
Yep.
Check this out. Hank and Mark will be back right after this, everybody.
First race of the 2013 season and our 5th year of hosting Warrior Dash, so we are excited to debut some new obstacles here. We've revamped the festival area, and we're really just doing everything we can to continue to make Warrior Dash the greatest experience in the world's largest running series. We host Warrior Dashes year-round. Warrior Dash is an event that's been going on for 5 years, hosted by Red Frog Events. And this is our third year at Triple Canopy Ranch. And this year we had 9,000 racers, which was incredible. We love hosting the event in this community, and they've been so gracious to have us here for the third year in a row. This event was extraordinarily successful today, and we've had a great group of spectators out to enjoy the course and cheer on their friends and family members taking on the course. We come to Polk County just because of Triple Canopy Ranch being here. The community has been so gracious to host us. It's been a great area to host the event with a wonderful terrain for our course. So we're excited to be here for the third year, and we hope everyone enjoyed the area that we provided. To participate in the event, you just head to Warrior Dash's website, warriordash.com. And you can see all of our race locations for the year, where they're taking place, and how much it is to register. And that's the best way to get involved in this race. And then you can also see all the other events that Red Frog Events hosts as well, if you'd like to try one of our other events out too.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson here along with Hank Longo, and we're rocking and rolling, big boy.
We are. That was some great stuff, and we want to thank the Travelodge Lakeland North for sponsoring this segment of Sports Central. And I had a very neat interview with Jeremy Armstrong from Absolute Aqua Sports. We're out on the site over on Lake Daisy over in Winter Haven, and when you see what he does and the interview and the footage that's going to follow, I don't want to lead too much into it because it's just such a unique thing that you're going to see with what he does.
It looks like a horror flick almost, you know, with the controls and all this.
It's kind of like Iron Man, if that's a little bit of a lead-in. If that's a little bit of a lead-in, but a neat interview with Jeremy.
Yeah, new era for water sports. You got to check this out, everybody. Jeremy Armstrong and the new flyboard. Wow, this is something.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this segment of Sports Central on location here at beautiful Lake Daisy in Winter Haven, Florida. And I'm with Jeremy Armstrong with Absolute Aqua Sports. And Jeremy, great to have you on the show, and some neat stuff that you're doing here with Absolute Aqua Sports to help kids and to help people with disabilities.
Yeah, it is. We have a brand new store, and our store benefits On the Edge Children's Foundation. Our Children's Foundation sole goal, sole purpose is just to benefit anybody with needs. All different lives, all different backgrounds, whatever kind of water sports or outdoor activities they'd like to do, we'll find a way to provide that for them.
Now you get kids that I see with disabilities, you get them water skiing. Who helps you with getting them how to ski and that whole process?
Everybody inside of our organization, all volunteers. We get them depending upon where the event's happening. A lot of local ski clubs. We work closely with the Cypress Gardens Water Ski Club here in Winter Haven.
Okay.
We work closely with the You Can Ski Too program here in Winter Haven, which is also another disabled organization. And they help us find whoever we need to put on an event.
Now, how do people find out about your organization?
Well, you can visit us at a lot of the events we're doing, or you can go to our website, ontheedgechildrensfoundation.com or absoluteaquasports.com.
And when you find these people, they're coming and everything that they get's free gratis. It's all your fundraising is to accumulate funds to help with these programs.
Yeah, because like you and everybody else knows, all these programs cost money. It costs money securing a location, it costs money for the ski boats and the jet skis and all the things that we have that we provide. So we're trying to figure out a way to pay for them. And work really close with a lot of organizations that have helped us over the years. The Boys and Girls Club, Dream for Kids, Easter Seals, Fresh Air Kids is a big one we've done. And all these organizations help us to put on our events.
And how did this all get going? What started this organization?
Well, there's our benefactors, Bob and Diane Casper. They live up in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
People with huge hearts. They saw a need for this in their community, And then I met them through a trade show, and we began to work with them, and Mark Voisart here locally. So the program has grown and grown and grown over the years to not only Gettysburg, but we're doing them in Wisconsin as well, where I'm from, and we do a lot of them down here in Florida.
That's fantastic. And you say it's for all disabilities, so it's not just kids that have disabilities. It could be a physical disability, but a learning disability, or maybe just a hardship disability.
Absolutely. Anybody who has some needs, we're willing to help, and we love to help. That's our whole goal. And you're right, it's not just for children. We do a lot of stuff with wounded warriors lately. We had a wounded warrior go flyboarding, one leg.
And we talk about flyboarding. That was in the background. Our flyboarder just went down for a moment, and maybe we'll get him back out there. But as the folks could see it in the background, this is a new invention that is kind of picking up here in the States from France originally, where it was designed.
Correct. It's a brand new sport. We got in it on the ground floor. There's about a dozen people here in the States who have these and are doing schools like we are with them, and it's picking up and taking off pretty quick.
It's a pretty amazing thing, and you're going to be at Smoke on the Water this weekend doing a little exhibition with it as well. Well, if folks are interested in wanting to volunteer and get involved with this organization, how do they contact you?
They can contact us through our website, ontheedgechildrensfoundation.com, the store website, absoluteaquasports.com, or they can call us at 863-224-8001.
And are you going to be having any clinics or anything going on in the near future that they can come watch or participate in?
We do. We haven't set the date for it. Waiting for the weather to get a little bit warmer. We're doing one for sure in March down here. It's going to be over on Lake Jesse.
Okay.
And then we're doing one at the end of March, I believe, with the Cypress Gardens Water Ski Club on Lake Silver.
Oh, beautiful. Well, great. That's where they have their water ski show also every third Saturday in the month. So you can get some great old Cypress Gardens Ski Club. The skiers are back together and skiing over on Lake Silver. So that's always a treat to go watch them. Well, Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us, and we really appreciate all that you're doing to help these people and to provide exciting water sports and outdoor activities for children and adults of all ages and needs and backgrounds. And thanks for taking the time here at beautiful Lake Daisy. What a nice way to get out of the office for a little while and come hang out here.
Side.
And now we're getting to the fun part where we actually get to go out on the new flyboard, and you're one of the few people that's kind of pioneered this here in the United States. So talk a little bit about this apparatus and what you're going to do and all this equipment here.
Okay, the flyboard is a very simple system. It's a Sea-Doo jet ski, and we divert the power from the Sea-Doo itself up the fire hose and back into your feet on the flyboard.
And so what this water does is just propels through this setup that you've got, and you just fly around on top of the water.
Yeah, that's the simplest way to explain it. And as far as people learning how to do it, anybody can do it.
Okay.
We've had people who are 18, very dainty little girls, all the way up to the 325-pound man.
Oh my gosh. It's kind of like a little bit of a James Bond technology here.
It kind of feels that way. You feel a little bit like Iron Man when you're out there.
And what are some of the maneuvers you're going to be doing? I know you've worked on this, so you've got some pretty advanced maneuvers down on what you can do on this unit.
I do some spins and a couple of different flips and chase the jet ski around.
And let's talk about the jet ski. This is hooked up so that this jet ski follows you around where you're going.
The jet ski ends up everywhere I just was. So if I'm standing somewhere and I turn around, the jet ski's going to follow the exact path I took.
Wow. And what causes that?
Well, because of the jet ski, and we've taken the steering off of it, and we've diverted all of its power source, it can't go anywhere. It just floats there. I'm towing it around with the hose.
Oh my gosh. Well, why don't we get you hooked up and you can show us exactly everything we just talked about.
Sounds good.
Poolside. Poolside.
Okay, Jeremy, that was amazing. That's the first time I've got to really see that this close up front and personal, and that is definitely an Ironman experience out there.
It is a lot of fun. When are you going to come out and book
I got to come get one with you. That's just, that is just wild. And to see you do the flips and go under the water and come back up again, there's a little bit of practice that's gone into that, that's for sure.
There's been a lot of practice for me, but we'll have you flying in 5 minutes.
I'm going to definitely try this. Hey everybody, here we are at beautiful Lake Daisy. Hank Longo along with Jeremy Armstrong for Sports Central and PGTV.
there are some leagues around the country that they do play in wheelchairs, but the reason I picked softball is because I've always been around the game as either a player, a coach, a manager. Pretty much my life's been around softball. When I saw what was coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan in the military in the past few years, I could see something was missing in their life. And they all were athletes once before, and they never thought they were going to live. They didn't think they were going to walk, and they certainly weren't going to play a sport again. So basically, this gave them a second chance to be a kid again, being an athlete again. We have 14 guys on our team, and they've been hand-selected from around the country. They're all veterans now. At one time, we had 4 active duty guys traveling with us, but everyone's been medically discharged from the branch of service. Our team's half Army, half Marines, half Iraq, half Afghanistan, and a couple from the military. And basically, I saw what was coming back through my prosthetic position. So we have below-the-knee amputees. We got 2 guys on our team missing both legs below the knees. We have guys missing a hand, below the elbow, part of the arm, and we have one gentleman on our team that's missing his whole shoulder down. Athletically, they're very gifted, even with a prosthetic device, but they're very good mentally, and their mental health and their chemistry, everything's working fine. We had a counselor travel with our team for the first 3 months from the Department of Veterans Affairs, just to make sure everyone on our team belonged on our team, both physically and mentally. And we got a great bunch of guys, and we're always looking for that next veteran. Everyone's got a story on our team. I wish I could name all of them, but they're all great athletes in their own right. Well, we're only a year and 3/4 old, and we've been to 18 states and 45 cities. Believe it or not, this is our 46th city coming here. We've been in Sports Illustrated magazine. We've been in HBO Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. We've been on ESPN. We've gone to Hawaii for a week and played at 5 military bases in 7 days. We've played at Cooperstown, Doubleday Field. Been honored at Yankee Stadium at home plate. We've played a number of the female Olympic gold medalists from various Olympic teams. We've played a number of professional former baseball, football, hockey, celebrities from Hollywood, from politics. We played the mayor of Washington, D.C. We only do things that are good for the community, whether it be a military team, a fire department, a police department team, colleges, universities, celebrity teams, everything that means something good for the community. And we only play able-bodied teams, so we're a good team. You'll see.
And if you're just joining us, I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, to your left, Mr. Hank Longo.
Hello, everyone.
Leading in the polls right now. We'll
Two big knockout punches in that first segment. Mark was chipping away, but he still has 2 segments to go to come back on the attack. But hey, having a fun show and another great guest joining us. And of course, we've got to thank Harry Seafood. Bar and Grill. It's just one of our great sponsors here.
Down in next to Munn Park in downtown Lakeland. Coldest beer in town, I always say.
Yeah, great place.
Crawfish etouffee is my favorite. Love it there. You know, it's just a fun place. You just go in, and service is great, food's outstanding, and all that. But we got a celebrity in the house.
Yes, we do.
You know sports? You've heard of sports. You even know the word sports in Polk County. Then you know our next special guest, and that's Mr. Gene Engle. Has been around a long, long time. Actually, his father cut his teeth in boat racing many, many years ago, and he's here to talk about the Orange Cup Regatta. It is a fun, family-friendly race with some of the best drivers on the planet.
Yep.
And Hank, after all of that, I'm going to let you introduce him then.
Well, Mr. Gene Engle. Well, thank you, Mr. Jackson. And moving over, Mr. Engle. Gene, this is the 75th annual Orange Cup Regatta, and you've been so instrumental in this event and keeping it going over the years, and you're bringing it back one more year again. It continues.
Well, it's one of those things that kind of gets in your blood, and each year you say, you know, I've got to retire from this thing, and about 3 months out, all of a sudden you start getting this interest again, and you get excited about having it. This is the 75th running of the Orange Cup Regatta. It is one of the oldest regattas in the United States. The Gold Cup, which was founded in Detroit, and that's, of course, where the American Powerboat Association's headquarters are located.
Out on the Detroit River with
on the Detroit,
big hydroplanes.
Yeah, that was founded in 1904, so we were around 1933. So it's been a long time, and it's, of course, quite a legacy for the whole area.
Your dad's name was Walter.
That's correct.
And he started, of course, involved in the Lakeland Yacht Club and all of that type of stuff. If he could join us today, what do you think he would say if he stepped out onto that dock and watched the racing?
Well, I think the first thing he'd say is, boy, they sure got faster. And in fact, the course that he laid out back then was 1 2/3 miles. And we had to shorten it to 1 mile oval because it got so fast that the drivers were actually concerned about it.
Getting too fast and then having to make the turn with having enough room to run.
Yeah.
Now, kind of going back to, this is interesting to me, going back to when this first started, what kind of engines? I mean, they were having outboards, I presume, or did they have inboards?
Well, back when they first started it was outboards on Saturday and inboards on Sunday. Now we have both on Saturday, both on Sunday, and they get twice the number of points because it's really two separate races. But back then, the engines were those with the cylinders that came out both sides, and it's a shame that we didn't save some of those engines from back then because it would make a great museum, especially for over in Auburndale.
Yeah, for the Hall of Fame.
And then they progressed to the little Mercuries that we used to try to ski. I mean, both you guys are skiers, and
he did. I didn't. He started back in the 30s or 40s, so they did have the twins back when he started.
When he started, they were still
handling a clothesline.
When he started, they were still rolling. The guy with the whip, with about 10 guys aside, and they whip him, and he'd stand back there.
I'm sorry I brought that up.
That's okay, Gene. It's okay.
One of the classes, and there's like, there's like 12 classes or something here that I'm looking at, or 13 or so. Jersey skiffs, they're back.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Your favorites.
They are the coolest thing. I don't know why. I just think they are so cool, and they're inboard boats.
That's correct.
But the engine, where does the engine sit physically?
It actually sits in front of the driver. And in this particular class, you also have a passenger with it. It's a two-person boat.
And it's kind of a big boat, too.
Well, it started in New Jersey. They were literally skiffs, and then somebody one day said, why don't we put an engine in this thing? And they never designed the boat to fit the engine, and that's probably what the problem is. They look like a tennis ball coming around the corners out there. I mean, they're all over the place, and you wonder how in the world can these drivers hold these things in a straight line, and I'm not sure they do. and they actually put cages on them some years ago, because what would happen is they would turn up so much on their sides that the prop was chewing up the guys in the boat next door to them. So they had to put cages on there to keep them.
Well, the guys will get that close to them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it gets pretty tight.
Wow.
And one of the things that especially kids like to ask, well, how fast are those boats going?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking about the different classes and stuff. What's the most powerful or high-speed class?
Probably the highest speed class is the flat bottom boats, which they'll get up in the 150 mile an hour area, 140, 150 miles an hour.
On Lake Hollingsworth?
Oh yeah, on a 1 mile oval course. They're very, very fast,
now,
very
they're
loud.
The hydroplanes, like?
No, these are flat bottom. They're
okay.
They're not a hydroplane. We have another class that we're adding this year called the SE class, which basically they run about 85 miles an hour. But it's an interesting class, again, flat bottom. But they run a very large prop. And so in order for them to run in our race, they have to have a disconnect, so that if they blow a piston and that engine freezes up, it disconnects the prop and the shaft from the engine, because if they don't do that, they'll flip over.
Really?
Oh my
because
gosh.
the prop is so large, yeah. So we require them to have this release, prop release, and so it's going to be interesting. This will be the first time they've run, and we're excited about seeing how they do.
It's unbelievable how many states are represented every single year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where are we this year? Because we're 2 weeks away.
Well, you know, right now I just got off the phone earlier today with folks headed from Chicago. There'll be folks coming in from Canada. We primarily pull from the Mississippi River east, and then California pretty well pulls from the west side. So most of our drivers are coming in from New York, Chicago, Canada, New Jersey, Louisiana. Is also very large. We have quite a contingency from there. So,
and you know, when you go to the race, you know, you get to experience this for free. I mean, there isn't a charge to go to Lake Hollingsworth to watch this, but what it takes to bring a boat there. I mean, you've got all the equipment that needs to go to it. I mean, these folks that come really have a huge expense into this, because when you go there and you see all the trailers and everything that's involved to haul these boats down here, like from New York or wherever, it's a big operation.
Well, when you talk about the trailers, they actually have a full shop inside the trailer, and so they can fix anything, and they do take up a lot of room. But it's a lot of money invested in all their rigs, and the races. The boats are getting so fast now that it's really very much like NASCAR. You almost have to have a boat put in a wind tunnel to understand what's going on out there, and they actually can control the front of the boats in many of the classes. And I might add that most of the classes we're running, with the exception of the youngsters, they're what we call kneel-down boats, will have capsules. And so therefore we have to have divers. We have to have 4 divers on the course at all times, so that if anyone flips over, then we can get into there and get them out of that capsule.
Gene, is that a APBA rule?
Yes.
American Powerboat Association
we
rule?
are sanctioned by the American Powerboat Association. Thank you for bringing that up. And their rules are very strict, and safety is our major concern. And of course, most of these capsules now are some form of Kevlar or a composite, and so boats pretty well bounce off of each other, and it's it's really safe. And of course, they all carry oxygen, so if they're upside down, the oxygen automatically flips on. If for some reason there's a malfunction there, our divers have oxygen with them, and they can plug it in an external outlet on the outside of the boat, so that we can pump oxygen in there immediately. So it's
wow.
Yeah, a lot of time is spent on safety.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
American Powerboat Association. The event itself, for those of you that are interested in going, and this is one, don't miss it. This is an awesome experience.
Yeah.
It is free. Right on Lake Hollingsworth, if you know where the Lakeland Yacht Club is, I don't even remember the road that intersects there coming down from Edgewood.
Cleveland Heights Boulevard.
Cleveland Heights Boulevard and all of that. So it's really easy to find. You just look for the cars. And it starts, Gene, on March 1st, which is,
Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. March 1st, and lake testing and so on. Saturday the 2nd is the first day of racing.
Right.
And those are actually two separate races than the Sunday race.
We start all over Sunday.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of drivers like to come here, because they get twice the number of points. And at the end of the year, the national champions, and speaking of national champions, in the tunnel boats, what we call the outboard performance class, which is the tunnel boats, Terry Rinker from Tampa is the world's champion.
Oh, really?
And when you talk about the trailers, I mean, you have to come down to the lake and just look at his trailer. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, that's he used to, I remember. Well, he's raced there before.
Oh yeah.
He's an exciting driver, but then he's raced out at Cypress Gardens too. He had a, if I remember correctly, it was a yellow boat.
That's correct.
Yeah, and he's still doing that type of stuff, and he's out of Tampa. So that's some exciting stuff. Once again, March 1st is the lake testing, and actually you see some pretty fun stuff on that day. And then the races, there's two, remember, Saturday and Sunday. March 2nd and 3rd kicks off at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday and 12 p.m. Noon on Sunday. So for those of you that have church plans like most of us do, take the family right after and have yourself a great time. And they do have snacks.
Well, we have the Lakeland Power Squadron who provides our concessions. They also provide pickup boats for us. They have been a very instrumental part in the success of the race, as well as, and I've got to say that sports marketing has been a tremendous help. And Josh Hicks has been helping. He has become my right hand, and I'm trying. I told him the other day.
And then you're going to get the left when you get to the race.
Well, I told him the other day I just want him to get to where he can run this whole thing, and all I have to do is walk out on the dock and look important. So,
racers, get ready. That's some good stuff. Well, man, Gene, add it one more time. That's just absolutely incredible. Looking forward to some great weather. And if you add a little wind in there every once in a while, you get some pretty exciting action. Oh, yeah. That's that can prove to be an expensive proposition for some of those drivers.
Well, we watch the weather pretty close, and we can tell you exactly what the speed is and the whole bit. Hopefully, last year we actually got blown out on Sunday. Unfortunately, that's it's not like Daytona where you're at NASCAR where you can still run when it gets windy. But if it gets too windy, then we call the race.
Yeah. Gene, thanks a million. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got this has got to be the busiest month in sports in Florida. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and we're kicking it off with the Orange Cup Regatta again. 80 years. It's been around 80 years, everybody. So make sure you check that out again. Lake Hollingsworth, March 1st through the 3rd. You can't miss this one. The family will love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also have some more footage and some more cool stuff coming up. We have the Stinger Shootout right here in Bartow, Florida. Make sure you check this out. Hank and Mark will be back right after this. We'll see you soon.
The Polk County teams look forward to coming to the Mosaic Stinger Shootout. Dr. Phillips plays next. They've been here 3 or 4 years in a row. Berkeley Prep just played the game before. We've got some really good teams already committed for next year that will run and come to the Mosaic, so it makes a difference. There's a buzz in the building. It's going to be a packed house, and every year there's a buzz because there's good teams, good hospitality, a great atmosphere for high school sports. like most teams, we're firm believers here that playing the best competition gets you ready. You're going to have some games where you're going to have to fight until the end. You're going to have some games where you have to strategize. Kids are going to play through fatigue. We don't really vary strategy. We want to play together on offense. We're a team that when we're really good, we play together. And then defensively, we want to give up one shot. Rebound, we want to be a contested shot. No easy baskets, no layups. And then we want to rebound and run. We want to be a team that runs in transition. So we kind of have the same strategy now. It changes a little bit given their personnel. So they've got a really good point guard going to USF named Josh Heath. So we've got to address him a little bit. And they've got 2 post guys. We've got to address them. But we'll do it in the confines of what we normally do. First of all, you've got to have a tremendous sponsor like Mosaic that's willing to give, be community-minded. You've got to have other community-minded folks like Polk County Sports Marketing. My principal's got a lot to do with it. He's a visionary. He opens his arms to a lot of stuff. He allows me to run the basketball program because he trusts me that we're going to do it the right way, so he gets some credit. And then the whole town, not just Bartow High School, but the whole community opens itself up. The restaurants, the gas stations, everybody's involved. A lot of restaurant owners and churches and the business owners will come to the games. 47 banners, so it's really not just a Bartow High School thing. It's a Bartow City of Bartow thing. It's a community thing, and that makes a difference.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Thanks so much for joining us. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo for this edition. And Hank, wow, we've had some great stuff so far today.
We've had some great stuff so far today, and we've got a lot of neat stuff going on. This has got to be prime time for sports in Polk County. And starting off, first of all, I want to thank the Hyatt Place at the Lakeland Center for their support in sponsoring this segment of Sports Central. Baseball, baseball, baseball. And
spring training is here. Russ-Mat baseball is here.
And we got that coming up. But I think the big news right now, the Tigers are in town. They're going to start playing this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time here in Polk County over the course of the next 4 to 5 weeks. Russ-Mat baseball, for those of you that are familiar with it, is back. Started actually February 18th. We have an opportunity, or you have an opportunity, we all have an opportunity to see some of the top college teams in the country. 228 of them this year, which is massive, coming from all over. And we've had teams from Air Force Academy, we've had Army, Navy, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, and then oodles and oodles, I think it's a better word than that right now, of D1, D2, D3, and AIA schools as well, Hank. So playing this year again at Lake Myrtle. Lots of games there, and then also it's your favorite, Chain of Lakes.
Chain of Lakes, and playing all around the county, actually. So, I mean, there's an opportunity for you to catch out these games. And the neat thing about Russ-Mat baseball is it lasts for like a month. So, I mean, there's going to be college teams coming in and out for a month, and what a great economic impact it's created when we lost the Indians. So, and it also gives people an opportunity to see how these young players play and how talented they are, and then how
stars of the future.
They can move up to the next level.
Yeah.
Maybe one day be here at spring training with the Tigers.
Well, it's like the Justin Verlander, situation. He played for the Lakeland, Lakeland,
Tigers.
Yeah. And next thing you know, this guy's, Cy Young Award winner. It's a phenomenal story there. But anyway, Russ-Mat baseball. Had media asked me recently about what does this Russ-Mat mean? I said, well, the owner of this collegiate baseball classic that Polk County Sports Marketing recruited here, to, as Hank said, to replace the Indians, has 2 boys by the name of Russ and Matt. You put those two words together, Russ Mat Baseball. So I'm not sure what the connection is, other than he thought it would be cool. But it is the largest collegiate spring training operation on the planet, right here in Polk County. So you can check out visitcentralflorida.org or centralfloridasports.com for a full schedule. And literally, the schedule is that thick. If you print it out on paper,
pages.
Oh, it's crazy.
Huge,
yeah. 900 and Hank, do you remember it was 940 some games?
Something, games like that.
Yeah,
yes.
in the next 5 weeks.
So you got your baseball itch. We've got the cure with all this baseball coming up.
Absolutely. Well, Tiger Spring Training, February 23rd through March 29th. There's the window, everybody. Some great home games coming up, including one against the Yankees on Saturday. I believe it's March. I'm not quite sure if it's in March sometime. They play the Braves, which our county manager Jim Freeman's going to love. Mm-hmm. They play the Braves on the 22nd. That will be a big game. So that's of course at Joker Marchant Stadium, and you can go out there any day to watch practice. Check out some of the new stuff. The berm out there is awesome. They have a little tiki bar up there, and we're going to be bringing you some breaking news very soon about plans to expand and to improve Joker Marchant Stadium to make it more fan-friendly and, of course, make the Tigers as competitive as they can be. But there's huge economic impact that goes right along with that.
And we talked about that. We won't go into the details, but boy, once you start building and adding on, it just provides more jobs, it gets more people working, and all the overflow after that. So some great things going on in Lakeland, because we have to keep our Tigers, longest running professional
77
team,
years,
to be in one location, a city like Lakeland, and just a great working relationship we have with them.
Yeah, Mr. Illich, what a nice, I mean, he's a nice man. But he's a sharp businessman. But here's a guy and an organization that gives back to the community.
Very much.
Oh, I mean, people don't realize the millions that flow in from the Tigers that being in this area. So good stuff. Buddy.
Well, kind of the end of our show here. It kind of just zoomed right on by us, and of course we got to talk about the radio show. And you and Chris, it's
WLKF, everybody, one of the top shows in all of Central Florida on Thursdays between 5 and 6. The same namesake, Sports Central on WLKF Sports Talk. Wow.
Great
I did
show.
Mention 5 to 6. I had
5 to 6 on Thursdays.
Yeah,
the top talk shows on AM at that time, at drive time.
Yeah.
I want to thank the Days Inn, Lakeland North, Abeulo's, Best Western Plus, Auburndale, the Parkview Hotel right across from Legoland, and Holiday Inn, Lakeland North. I want to thank all those folks for being our sponsors here on Sports Central.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like more information about sports or just want to talk sports, you can give us a call, as we said, on WLKF Sports Central. But check out the following dates or websites. Visit centralflorida.org is the tourism website. Centralfloridasports.com is the sports website with more information than you could possibly want or need to know about sports right here in Polk County. Well, our next live show is March 8th, everybody. March 8th, jot that down. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on PGTV. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the following dates and times for re-airs of this show. Kind of a long segue into what I was supposed to say. We'll see you again next time.